this morning, the U.S. sending reinforcements to Ukraine in its war with Russia. The support the U.S. is giving troops on the front lines. A group of Coloradans expected to protest tonight over the police shooting in downtown Denver that injured 6 people. We're breaking down both sides of the incident. With Colorado Front Range kids going back to school, student athletes are gearing up for fall sports, the shortage that could put games at risk. Good news for Broncos fans prepping for game day tailgates, what's now becoming more affordable for the first time in 2 years.
Hey, it's never too early for some good food on a Saturday morning.
Agreed.
Welcome to Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Patrick Perez. Thanks so much for waking up with us on this Saturday morning. And here are some stories we are following for you this weekend. Kids in Denver public schools go back to school on Monday. I know, and Denver police will be increasing enforcement in school zones the first week back. Some simple reminders. Make sure to watch out for more people walking or biking on sidewalks, and of course stop for buses loading or unloading students. Also keep an eye out for school crossing guards. Lastly, do not pass stopped vehicles because there's a good chance that they could be waiting for kids to cross the streets.
Changes are starting this weekend for more than 24 RTD routes. RTD is reinstating some school tripper service routes as the academic year gets into full swing next week. They're also adding some extra buses to help students in Boulder get to and from CU. Their first day of classes are on Monday.
And the Boulder Reservoir Swim Beach is closed once again for the second time this month because of elevated levels of bacteria. Boulder Parks and Recreation officials say the swim area will reopen once bacteria levels return to normal. Boating, water skiing, and fishing are still allowed. Officials say cooler weather and rain will help alleviate this problem.
9:01 right now. Let's take a look outside over the downtown Denver skyline silhouette. You can really tell it's a bright day just based on how dark the silhouette looks there. But time for a check of the forecast.
Good morning to you, Jessica and Patrick and everyone at home. It's a partly cloudy start to our day here across the Denver area. Quite mild with temperatures now in the high 60s. Relative humidity at 54% with more cloud coverage and wind sustained from the southwest around 10 to even 15 miles per hour. Some gustier conditions over the northeastern plains. It's dry right now in Vail, but more rain is on the way and already picking up some showers and an isolated thunderstorm route two out to our west. Temperatures right now are in the high 40s in Leadville, 60s over the eastern plains, getting to about 70 in Burlington. Now we are looking at wet weather, but at least a low risk of severe storms for today. Very widespread in coverage though for the I-25 corridor and into the mountains, becoming a lot more widespread as we get into this afternoon. Right around 1 o'clock you can see more widespread rain into the mountains, heavy at times, gusty winds before we gradually clear out later on tonight, guys.
All right, thanks so much, Katie. Well, 6 innocent people are forever changed after they were caught in the crossfire of Denver police trying to arrest another man last month.
The officers fired shots at Jordan Waddy just as crowds were letting out of Lodo bars. Some people in Colorado are now upset over the police response that the public was in danger during the process. Denver 7's Christian Lopez is live with both sides of this complicated incident.
And Jessica, demonstrators are expected to gather here at Commons Park tonight, and then they will march over to the location where that shooting happened at 20th and Larimer. And they're doing this to show their support for those innocent bystanders who were hurt. They're also upset at that body camera footage that was just released a few days ago. And we've been showing you that video that shows that chaos in Lodo from a month ago. The group organizing the protest is the Denver Communists, and they are outraged at police for shooting into that crowd of people, saying that the footage shows that the suspect Jordan Waddy is discarding his weapon without pointing it at anyone. We spoke to a former patrol officer who is now a criminal justice professor, and she said that between the growing violence in downtown Denver and those mass shootings across the country, officers, they feel more pressure to react quickly when they sense there is a threat of gun violence among a crowd of people.
I think one thing that can happen to officers when they're in a situation like that and they do think there is a gun is you get a little bit of tunnel vision, which can occur. So you tend to focus on the suspect who has the gun versus everything around you in order to stop that threat. Anytime you're in a big crowd, you definitely, when you see a gun, you need to make a split-second decision on whether it's safe to take that shot or not.
A very controversial case. It will require a grand jury investigation, and those 3 officers who were involved in the shooting, they are on modified duty at the moment. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, thanks so much, Christian. And bystanders hurt during that shooting say it is a night that they will never forget. They were all outside Larimer Beer Hall in a crowd of people as officers responded to a fight. Some of the innocent people hurt in the exchange are speaking out after police released body camera video on Tuesday. One victim cannot bring himself to watch it just yet.
I'm still dealing with the healing process of what took place that day, physically and mentally. I'll eventually watch it.
Everything happened so quickly, and in one of the videos you can very clearly see that the suspect had dropped the weapon before shots were fired.
And as a civilian, if I was to be in that situation or I shot a bullet in that situation, I would have been immediately, publicly everywhere and held accountable.
Now, one of the shooting victims has nerve damage to his hand because of the incident. A grand jury, like Christian said, will now decide whether the 3 officers involved should face charges.
Well, the high school sports season has officially arrived here in Colorado, but a shortage of referees could spell trouble. CHSAA says the officiating shortage is so bad right now, it's asking more teams and districts to move games off popular weekend nights to more weeknights. There simply aren't enough refs to call all the games scheduled for Friday, so if some teams move to Thursday, they can then use those same refs those nights.
They are a vital part of the DNA of all sports, right? But a lot of these officials, they're just tired of being berated.
The CHSAA Assistant Commissioner Mike Book says there are several reasons for the shortage: low pay, the pandemic, but perhaps most of all, poor sportsmanship among parents and fans.
Oh, we've got football on the brain. The Denver Broncos are in New York and they're prepping to take on the Buffalo Bills today. Denver 7's Bronco insider Troy Rink is in Buffalo for the game, and he's got a preview ahead of the 11 a.m. kickoff.
Hi, this is Troy Rink from Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, where the Broncos will face the Bills in their second preseason game later this morning. Had a chance to talk to Coach Hackett just a few minutes ago. He's running the stairs. That is his pregame routine. He did it last week in altitude at Empower Field, and now he's doing it again here. He's going to have an exciting game to watch, and a unique game because the Bills plan to play most of their starters. The Broncos, not so much. You'll see guys like Calvin Anderson in there, probably Malik Reed, guys who are either competing for a job or are backups. But they're going to have to go up against Josh Allen, maybe even Von Miller. But this gives the coaching staff a chance to evaluate second stringers. If you hold up well against the Bills starters, that's a good sign. The Bills are the Super Bowl favorite in the AFC. So who are some of the players to keep an eye on? At cornerback, keep an eye on Damari Mathis, the draft pick from Pitt. He is starting to open eyes. Also at receiver, where the competition is fierce, you got Brandon Johnson, Jalen Virgil. You've got Kendall Hinton and eventually Tyree Cleveland. But there's going to be some tough cuts at that receiver spot. Starting at quarterback will not be Russell Wilson. That will be Josh Johnson. He's expected to play the first half with Brett Rippon the second half. As it stands, Josh Johnson is the front runner to win that backup job. But there are multiple jobs at stake here in Buffalo. Broncos will get after it here in a few hours against the Bills. Reporting from Buffalo, Troy Rink, Denver 7.
All right, thanks so much, Troy. And just in time for football season, a bit of return to normal when it comes to a popular tailgating food, chicken wings. Oh, they sound so good right now. Just this month, the price for wholesale wings is now back to their early 2020 levels. The pandemic spiked prices of chicken wings. There was even a reported shortage at one point.
It's a huge deal for us just because our margins were so slim at that point. We kind of took the hit there. Instead of, we raised prices slightly, but not enough to cover the cost of wings. So we took the hit really for the 3-year period. And now we'll just be slightly more profitable and still be able to deliver the same quality product we always have.
Doesn't that look good? I know it's 9:09 in the morning, but I've been up since 4 o'clock and I'm starving. The timing, by the way, could not be better for Colorado restaurants as sports seasons fire up and, well, demand goes up as well.
Even more tension between Russia and Ukraine, plus concerns about nuclear contamination. How the U.S. is supporting Ukraine.